Right, so what I'm going to do is each week, I never ever thought I would actually do this. I don't even believe I'm actually doing it now, but I am. I used to fish this spot. It was like one of my spots that I always went to, you know. I never ever thought I would ever show anybody anything about this dock. It's sort of one close to my home. I've never really, you know, publicised any pictures or anything on social media, nothing like that. But I thought I'd do a little throwback series every now and again, like a little clip of a fish or a couple of fish here and there that I've caught from out of the docks. And yeah, this one particular night, it was about 6 o'clock in the evening, and a friend of mine rang me and he said, let's go over the docks, you know, and have a little look if there's any fish out. So I said to him, yeah, like no worries, like let's go. So it was like, went over just to have a little look, and we was just having a little nut about and stuff. And like, we see 5 or 6 fish, you know, when we first got here. Not big fish, but 18, 20 pound sort of fish. Maybe smaller, you know, maybe a little bit bigger. But we were sort of like just having a little look about, and he said like, why don't you go and get the rods? And I never really used to fish at evenings, because what it is, it's a boating club and you're not allowed to fish here. So it was like, it was one of them ones, you know, like I used to fish it early hours in the morning. I used to fish it like 4 o'clock in the morning till like 9 o'clock in the morning before the boating club opened. So I said to him like, I don't really want to do it, because as well, like people would get to see you fishing here, because obviously it was in the evening, so if there was people walking about, they would actually see you fishing on the spot. Whereas if I was here at like 4 in the morning, I didn't really see many people. I used to see the odd people here and there. So I said, oh, sod it, you know, I'll go and get them. So I sort of shooted home to get the rods, and he stayed here and he was just milling about. So while I was gone, shot off to get the rods, he stayed here just having a look. And when I come back, he said to me like, Bob, like about 15 minutes ago, I see an absolute tank. I said, you're joking? And he said, no. He said, it looked like a good fish, you know, it looked like a 30 pounder. So I said, really? He was like, yeah. I said, like, what sort of way did it go, you know? And he sort of pointed out towards the jetties. And I said, oh, really? He was like, yeah. And what it is, it's a boating club, so it's got like a slip, like a ramp that goes down. And it's really shallow in the edge, obviously. It's like millimetres of water, and it sort of gradually like descends off. It goes like 1 foot, 2 foot, 3 foot, 5 foot, and then basically where I used to fish, it used to be like 6, 7 foot, you know. We used to bait the same sort of area. You could sort of see the fish in the edge, so it was one of them ones, you know. If I rocked up over here and I knew the fish was there because I could see them. So he sort of like pointed over towards the jetty, and I said like, you're mad, it's like 18, 30 foot of water out there, you know. It sort of goes off like mega deep, it's crazy. And we sort of like milled about and that, and it's one of them ones, you know. Always used to fish it early morning. I only ever used to fish 1 rod. I never used to stick 2 rods in here, because if I ever put 2 rods in here, it used to be the kiss of death. Like, it used to just ruin it. So it was always a 1 rod job. Never ever put 2 out. If you put 2 out, no bites. Put 1 rod out, I could have 5 or 6 fish in a night, or in a morning, sorry, not in a night. And on this one particular night, I said to him like, you know, what should I do? Like, should I fish the spot? Because obviously there was fish milling about in that area, but the one good fish that he said he'd seen had gone out towards the jetty. So he said, stick 2 out, and I was like, ah. Like, it's a bit carnage as well, because there's shopping trolleys galore, you know, there's snags, everything. And if you get a fish on and they go mental, you're sort of kiting through other lines, you're going through shopping trolleys, you're just hindering your chances of landing the fish. So it was a bit like catch-22. I said to him like, all right, I'll stick a rod out on the actual spot, and then we'll put a solid bag out in the deeper water. And we sort of laughed about it, sort of thing, and said like, it won't happen, but you know what I mean, you never know. So we're sort of standing there, and I've sort of sorted out the 2 rods. I've stuck the rod out on the actual spot in the 6, 7 foot of water, and then I've stuck the one out in the deeper water. We're sort of standing there, and we're seeing like 5 or 6 fish. They're milling about in the shallow water on the rod on the right hand side, and they're sort of milling about around the bait, and we're sort of like proper, you know, engrossed, engaged, watching these fish, waiting for a bite on the right hand rod, because that's what we was actually waiting for, because we could see the fish there. Then all of a sudden, the left-hand rod just melted, and when I mean it melted, it took off like no other bite that I've had from out of these docks. And I mean, this was absolutely screaming, this, and I'm thinking to myself, boom, so I've grabbed the rod and picked it up. Straight away, he's looked at me, I've looked at him, I've gone, no way. He's like, that's that fish. I was like, you're joking? He said, that's that fish. I said, what fish? What was it, common mirror? He said it was a mirror, it was a scaly mirror. I said, you're joking? He said, nah, 100%. And I said, do you reckon? Anyway, this fish, it sort of went under the jetties, and it surfaced the other side of the jetties. So now the line is going underneath the jetties, and it's sort of like, where the jetties are obviously floating jetties, they got chains. And it's sort of like, it had surfaced the other side, so I've sort of like trying to coast it back as much as I can. I'm literally laying down on the floor with my rod tip in the water so that the line is not getting, you know, rubbed along the jetties. Anyway, I slowly coast the fish back, and then eventually it was this side of the jetties, but then it wanted to go again, the fish. I sort of let it go and it went out to the left and it went out into open water. You know, it's 40, 50 foot deep out there in some places. So I sort of just let it go as far as it wanted to go, to wear it out as much as it can. Didn't know if there's much snags out there. There probably is, but, you know, don't really know if there is. So the fish has sort of gone all the way out, and then I've stopped it, turned it around and brought it in slowly. And as we've got it in, and then we've actually seen the fish. And he's like, that's that fish. I was like, no way. Anyway, my mate slipped the net under it, and we sort of got it in the net. I climbed down in the ladder, which is just a little bit further around from me, got it in a retainer sling and sort of pulled it round, and I called one of my other mates, and I said, like, come over, you know, I've got a good fish in the sling. And he's like, you're joking? I said, no, this is a decent fish. Like, so he sort of come over, and we weighed the fish. It went just under 30 pounds. It looked bigger, but it went just under 30 pounds. This is a lovely, lovely scaly mirror, dark. I mean, as you can see from the pictures, you know, this fish it's an immense old warrior. It's a proper docks carp. There's many in here like this. I've had many a good fish out of these docks, good bites. Over the next, you know, couple of months, over the next, you know, few months here and there, I'm going to throw one of these little videos up. I never ever thought I would do this, but I'm doing it. You know, I've never ever wanted to ruin this spot. You know, I've always thought to myself, I've always wanted to do some video footage and some YouTube stuff from this sort of place, but I never ever wanted to ruin my fishing here, because once it's out there, you know, and once people know where you're fishing, that's it, it's game over. But I wouldn't say my time's done here, because it'll never be done here. You know, I grew up here, I grew up fishing here, so I always fish here, always come back here for a bite. There's not many people that do fish these docks, but, you know, in the last year or the last couple of years, you know, a few carp anglers have started to walk the banks of these docks. So it's like the actual locals and the known faces that we all know each other. Now I'm starting to see the odd person who I've never seen before, you know, like, and it's one of them ones. I thought it's about time that I started releasing a little bit of the footage. So yeah, that's basically where I'm at. So yeah, there's that mirror. That's one to start you off with. And in the next couple of weeks or the next couple of months, I will throw another one back up at you. But yeah, lovely times. You know, you can't beat being over these docks. It's just a place that, I don't know, it's in my heart. I go fishing all over Europe. I've been all over the country. I've been all over Europe. But I always want to come back here. I don't know why. The fish are not massive, but it just brings me back here every week. You know, I always come over here for a look when I go for a jog, when I go out on my bike. Whenever I go out, I want to go over the docks and have a look for some of the fish. So yeah, lovely times, and happy fishing, guys.